Max Verstappen, one of the top Formula One drivers, has been making waves in the world of sim racing by proving his skills in this challenging form of competitive gaming. Despite the unique obstacles that sim racing presents, Max has shown his ability to adapt and excel in this virtual environment, demonstrating his natural talent, mental toughness, and competitive drive. In this video, we'll explore the challenges of sim racing and how Max has been able to overcome them, showcasing what makes him a top performer both on and off the track. Before we do that, welcome back to our channel, F1 Wolf, where we talk about everything related to Formula One. If F1 news is what you love, then don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button down below. Alright, now let's get back to the video. Let's start by introducing Max and his impressive skills and accomplishments in Formula One. Max Verstappen is one of the most exciting and talented drivers in Formula One today. Despite his young age, he has already accomplished so much in his career. As the youngest driver to ever start a Formula One race, Max made a splash when he made his debut at the Australian Grand Prix in 2015. He quickly proved himself to be a formidable opponent, and in the 2016 Spanish Grand Prix, he became the youngest driver to ever win a Formula One race. Since then, Max has continued to impress with his skills behind the wheel. He has won a total of 16 Grand Prix races and achieved 10 pole positions, proving that he has what it takes to constantly compete at the highest level. Max's talent and drive have also contributed to Red Bull Racing, winning multiple Constructors' Championships. He is considered a genius in F1 due to his exceptional talent, skill, and ability to race at an incredibly high level. He has been able to achieve multiple successes in his relatively short career. Now, let's talk about sim racing. What is sim racing, and how can it be a challenge to an F1 driver? What does it take to become a sim racing genius? Sim racing, or simulation racing, is a form of competitive gaming where players use specialized software and equipment to simulate real-life racing experiences. Players use simulators which can range from simple setups with just a steering wheel and pedals to more complex rigs with multiple screens and motion systems to race against each other online or against computer-controlled opponents. Sim racing can be used for both fun and serious competition, with many professional racing teams and drivers using simulators to practice and prepare for real-life races. But sim racing can be a challenge to an F1 driver for several reasons. Number 1. One of the main challenges is the lack of physical feedback that drivers are used to relying on in real-world racing. The G-forces, vibrations and sounds of the engine that they are attuned to are absent in sim racing. This can be challenging because it requires them to adjust their driving style and learn to interpret the information they receive in a different way. To strengthen this claim, Max even said before that the smell of fuel, driving at the limit on the edge of sliding, it just gives you a lot of adrenaline. Number 2. Another challenge of sim racing is that it has different handling characteristics than real-world racing. Tyres wear and grip differently, which means that F1 drivers must be able to adjust their tyre management and pit stops. Number 3. Limited visibility is another challenge in sim racing. In real-world racing, drivers have a 360-degree view of their surroundings, but in sim racing, they're limited to the screen in front of them. This can make it difficult to judge distances and react to other cars. Number 4. Finally, sim racing requires a different mental approach than real-world racing. Drivers must learn to focus solely on the visuals and feel of the car, which can be a significant shift from the mental approach they're used to in racing in real life. Despite the challenges of sim racing, Max Verstappen has proven to be a genius when it comes to racing in a simulator. In 2020, during the COVID-19 pandemic, which led to the postponement or cancellation of many real-life racing events, Verstappen participated in various sim racing competitions. This including the Real Racers Never Quit series organised by Team Redline, as well as the Not the Grand Prix series organised by Veloci Sports. Verstappen's sim racing performances were generally strong, and he was able to compete at a high level against other professional racing drivers and sim racers. One reason why he can overcome these challenges is his natural talent for racing. Max has been racing since he was a child, so he has years of experience under his belt. Max began karting at just 4 years old and quickly showed a natural talent for racing. By the time he was 16, he was already competing in the European Formula 3 Championship, where he won the championship in his rookie season. With over a decade of experience in various racing disciplines, including Formula 1, Max has honed his skills and developed a deep understanding of racing that has served him well in both real and virtual instances. Another reason why Max is succeeding in sim racing is his adaptability. He's able to adjust his driving style to different cars and different tracks, which is a critical skill in both real-world and sim racing. A great example of this is when Max had to adjust his driving style when he switched from driving a Toro Rosso in 2015 to a Red Bull racing car in 2016. The two cars had different handling characteristics, and Max had to learn how to adjust his driving style to get the most out of the new car. He was able to quickly adapt and went on to win his first Grand Prix with Red Bull in Spain in 2016. In sim racing, Max has shown that he can also adjust his driving style to different cars and tracks, which is critical for success in the virtual racing world. Max is also a quick learner, which means that he can quickly adapt to new handling characteristics and racing strategies in sim racing. Max is also known for his mental toughness, which is essential when racing in the virtual world. He has the ability to stay focused and keep a cool head under pressure, which is a valuable skill when dealing with the limited physical feedback and lack of fear of injury in sim racing. Max demonstrated his ability to stay focused and keep a cool head under pressure in sim racing during the 2020 Virtual Monaco Grand Prix. Max was leading the race with only a few laps to go when he was given a 5-second penalty for a collision with Charles Leclerc. Despite the setback, Max was able to stay calm and maintain his focus, ultimately crossing the finish line in first place with a comfortable margin of victory even with the penalty. This ability to handle the pressure and maintain his composure under such circumstances helped him secure the win and showcase his skill as a sim racer. Number 5. Finally, Max has a competitive drive that pushes him to be the best, whether he's racing in the real world or in sim racing. He thrives on competition and enjoys pushing himself to his limits, which makes him a formidable opponent in any racing scenario. Max once said, "That's what I enjoy, always driving on the limit of what you can do." A great display of Max's competitive drive and willingness to push himself to his limits is his performance in the 2020 Virtual Grand Prix Series. Despite being relatively new to sim racing and competing against experienced sim racers, Max won 2 of the races and finished on the podium in several others. He also set multiple fastest laps and demonstrated a willingness to take risks and make daring overtaking maneuvers. In summary, Max has the natural talent, adaptability, mental toughness and competitive drive necessary to overcome the challenges of sim racing. He's proven himself to be a genius sim racer and a force to be reckoned with in both real-world and virtual racing. But the question is, do you agree that Max Verstappen is a sim racing genius? What are your thoughts? Let us know in the comments below. And as always, thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.